Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when you must sit down and ask yourself, who am I living for? Too often we lose ourselves in the pursuit of people, their approval, their love, and their validation. We beg for attention, we chase after those who don't value us, and we give away our energy to places where it is neither appreciated nor reciprocated. But life becomes truly powerful the moment you decide, no more begging, no more chasing. That's the moment you begin to focus on you, your worth, your growth, your journey. Because when you stop shrinking yourself for others, you begin expanding into the best version of yourself. Self-worth is non-negotiable. Self-worth is not something you ask others to hand over to you, it is something you decide for yourself. Every time you beg for attention, you are teaching your heart that it needs external validation to feel alive. But when you shift your focus inward and remind yourself of who you are, you begin to understand that no one has the power to put a price tag on your value. You were born worthy, you are living worthy, and nothing will ever take that away unless you allow it to. When people treat you less than you deserve, it is not your job to convince them of your worth. It is your job to know it so strongly that you no longer stay in places where you are not respected. The people who truly value you will never need to be begged. They will see you, they will appreciate you, and they will stand with you without you having to shrink yourself to earn their love. Your worth is not negotiable. It is not up for debate, and it is not something you need to prove over and over again. When you live with that certainty, the begging stops naturally. You no longer feel the urge to run after someone who cannot see your brilliance. Instead, you stand firm and let your light speak for itself. The more you choose yourself, the stronger your sense of self becomes. And with every decision that affirms your worth, you break free from the chains of needing others to validate you. That is where real freedom begins. Not in their approval, but in your acceptance of yourself. When you truly know your value, rejection does not scare you anymore. Abandonment does not break you anymore. Because you understand that someone walking away does not mean you are not enough. It simply means they were not aligned with the greatness you carry. That mindset keeps you unshaken even in the face of disappointment. You are a masterpiece, and masterpieces are not meant to beg to be noticed. They exist in their glory, waiting for the right eyes to recognize their beauty. So, stand tall, stop negotiating your worth, and live like you already know you are priceless. Energy is your greatest currency. Your energy is your life force, and it is the most valuable currency you will ever own. Every single day you spend it on people, on dreams, on work, and on relationships. But the question is, are you spending it on things that nourish you or on things that drain you? Begging and chasing drain your energy in ways you don't even realize. It leaves you tired, empty, and restless, while the things that could truly grow your life remain unattended. When you chase people who do not want to stay, you are wasting the very energy that could have built your vision. Imagine if all the energy you poured into running after others was invested in your personal growth. Imagine the dreams that could have been realized, the skills you could have mastered, the peace you could have cultivated within yourself. Energy redirected becomes transformation, but energy wasted becomes regret. The people who drain your energy are not your responsibility to fix. You cannot light their world at the cost of burning out your own flame. When you begin to protect your energy, you realize that it is okay to say no, it is okay to walk away, and it is okay to guard your space. Because not everyone deserves access to the light you carry. And not everyone is meant to benefit from your generosity of spirit. Think of your energy as an investment. Every time you give it to someone or something, ask yourself, what is the return? Is this bringing me closer to the life I dream of? Or is this pulling me further away? That one question has the power to save you from years of exhaustion and emptiness. The wrong investments keep you small, while the right ones expand you into your best self. Protecting your energy does not mean isolating yourself from the world. It means being mindful of where and how you pour yourself. It means choosing to invest in your growth, your healing, and your purpose, rather than wasting yourself on those who cannot appreciate your presence. That shift creates power, because when you are full, you can give to the world without losing yourself in the process. And the truth is, the moment you stop wasting your energy on chasing people, you suddenly find yourself with an overflow. That overflow is what attracts opportunities, success, and love without you having to run after them. Because a person who knows how to protect their energy radiates strength, and strength is always magnetic. Silence speaks louder than pleading. There is a power in silence that no amount of words can ever match. When someone disrespects you or undervalues you, the instinct is to beg, to explain, to prove yourself. But begging strips you of your dignity, while silence restores it. Silence says what? Pleading never can. It says, I know my worth and I will not lower it for anyone. Silence does not mean weakness. It means self-control. It means choosing not to waste your breath trying to convince someone who has already made up their mind. It means stepping back with grace instead of clinging with desperation. And that silence echoes louder in their minds than any words you could have spoken. Your silence is not empty, it is filled with dignity. It tells the world that you do not need to scream for attention or run after validation. You are confident enough to walk away without noise, because you know that what is meant for you will never have to be begged for. Silence, in its own way, is a declaration of strength. When you choose silence over pleading, you also protect your peace. Begging consumes your mind, it drains your emotions, and it robs you of your sleep. But silence keeps you calm. It allows you to stay rooted in your power rather than being tossed around by someone else's inconsistency. Peace comes when you realize that not every action requires a reaction. And in that silence, people begin to notice. They begin to realize that the absence of your voice carries a weight greater than your presence ever did. They begin to see that you are not someone who chases, but someone who values themselves enough to let go. Silence, when rooted in self-worth, becomes louder than the loudest cry. Remember this. You don't need to beg to be heard. Your silence, your detachment, and your refusal to chase say everything. Let them speak for you. Because in silence lies your deepest strength, and in that strength lies your freedom. Focusing on you creates magnetism. The most beautiful transformation happens the moment you stop chasing others and start chasing yourself. When you pour into your growth, your healing, and your vision, you become magnetic. People are drawn to confidence, to self-respect, to a person who knows their worth without having to shout it. Focusing on you is not selfish. It is the foundation of everything great you will ever build. When you spend time working on your health, your goals, and your peace, you stop worrying about who stayed or who left. Your world becomes centered on building instead of begging. And as you grow, you notice that the right people naturally gravitate towards you. Because growth is magnetic, self-love is radiant, and confidence cannot be ignored. The truth is, you don't need to fight for a place at anyone's table. When you focus on yourself, you begin building your own table. And when your table is full of light, purpose, and authenticity, people who belong in your life will come and sit with you. You no longer need to chase them, because what is aligned with your soul will always find its way to you. Focusing on yourself also gives you clarity. It allows you to see who adds value to your life and who drains it. It helps you recognize which paths are worth your energy and which ones only distract you. That clarity saves you from years of wandering and keeps you rooted in the direction of your highest calling. And the beauty is, when you focus on you, you stop competing with others. You stop comparing yourself with people who seem ahead of you. Instead, you begin competing only with the person you were yesterday. That kind of focus keeps you unstoppable, because the only race worth running is the one against your old self. Magnetism is not about being perfect, it is about being real. And the more you focus on becoming your authentic self, the more you attract everything that belongs to you. So shift your attention from chasing others to building yourself, because the world is drawn to those who are unapologetically focused on their own growth. Freedom is in letting go. Letting go is the hardest yet the most liberating decision you will ever make. Begging keeps you tied to pain. Chasing keeps you restless. But letting go sets you free. Freedom begins the moment you release what was never meant for you. That release creates space for better things, better people, and better opportunities to enter your life. Holding on to people who don't want to stay only hurts you. It creates a cycle of disappointment, where you keep waiting for something that will never change. But the day you let go, you step into peace. You begin to realize that love is not supposed to be begged for, respect is not supposed to be chased, and kindness should never come with conditions. Letting go is not about giving up, it is about moving forward. It is about choosing yourself over situations that keep breaking you. It is about saying, I deserve better, and walking away even when it hurts. That kind of courage is the key to your freedom, because it shows that you are no longer afraid of losing what was never truly yours. Freedom is not found in attachment, it is found in release. When you unclench your hands from what was never meant for you, you suddenly find them open to receive what was. And the things that are meant for you flow easily, without struggle, without begging, without chasing. That is the kind of life where peace resides. And yes, letting go can feel lonely at first. It can feel like a part of you is missing. But in time, you will see that you were never losing, you were gaining yourself back. You were making room for the life you truly deserve. You were breaking free from chains you were never meant to carry. The freedom that comes with letting go is priceless. It teaches you that you never have to beg to be loved, never have to chase to be valued, and never have to shrink to be accepted. It teaches you that the only approval you ever needed was your own. In the end, life is too precious to waste in begging for love that is conditional or in chasing people who were never meant to walk your path. The moment you release the urge to prove your value to others, you step into the truest freedom, because your worth is not something that needs to be purchased by their approval. Focusing on you is not selfish, it is sacred. It is the recognition that the most important relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself. And when you invest in that relationship, everything else in your life begins to align. You no longer need to run after what is not meant for you, because what belongs to you will naturally flow into your life. When you decide to live with dignity instead of desperation, with silence instead of pleading, and with focus instead of chasing, you discover that the real power was never in being chosen by others, it was in choosing yourself. That choice allows you to stand tall in your truth, to protect your energy, and to live with the kind of peace that no one can take away. And in that strength, you realize that you don't have to beg, you don't have to chase, you only have to focus on you. And when you do, life itself begins to chase you.